This team is on absolute fire coming out of the break. They're now 11-2. They won 7 straight on the road. And oh, by the way, because they went on the road and beat the Wizards tonight, 132-118, and the Nuggets lost. All of a sudden, the Sacramento Kings are just 3.5 games behind the Denver Nuggets for the #1 seed in the NBA's Western Conference. And by the way, there's not a team hotter. There's not a team playing better than the team from the capital city of California, the Sacramento Kings. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How you doing, Mo?
I'm freaking fantastic on this Saturday.
Well, the Kings coming into tonight, no Kevin Huerter, no Trey Lyles. The Wizards were playing without Porzingis, who was out because he was sick. And there was so much to like about tonight's game. We were in Stockton calling the Stockton Kings game, came back, caught up, watched tonight's game, and the Kings got win number 43, Morgan. They are 43-27 after this win tonight. And there was so much to like about what they were able to do tonight.
Yeah, I think first off, you think about what happened in that last matchup, and they were down by as many as 30 in that game.
You okay?
Yeah, the words just weren't coming out.
No, I have had that problem a lot
They
lately.
were down by as many as 30 in that game on their home floor. They ended up losing to the Wizards. So this game I looked at like a little bit of a revenge game. Wizards under 500 team. They have no Porzingis. You got to take care of business, but you have to do it playing the game the right way and playing your style of basketball. And that's exactly what they did. You saw in the beginning of that game, there was a time when it was like, oh, what the hell's going on? Oh, and then I don't know, they go on a 15-0 run, and then from there, it's like they had control the rest of the game.
The more you watch this team, I'm going, this team's not only like good, they are really, really good. You miss a starter tonight in Kevin Huerter. Trey Lyles has been a key cog coming off the bench. And it's like, next person up. Kessler Edwards got the start tonight.
Yeah.
He picked up 3 quick fouls. Gotta say, a couple of them were pretty cheap, I thought.
Sure.
Nonetheless, they went, okay, Terence Davis, tonight, you got to come in and do something. And TD came in ready to go from the jump, knocking down shots, playing with energy. This team is deep. The offense is outrageous. Another game where they score 130 plus 18 times this year. That is just no joke, Morgan. They are on a roll, and I even see great signs with the defense. I think the defense is playing better right now. I think they're more engaged. They're playing more physical.
Well, something that we noticed about the defense was that obviously you're playing against a Wizards team that isn't going to execute things like a better team in this league. For example, when we just saw them take on the Milwaukee Bucks, right? There's different defensive breakdowns for different reasons. Against the Wizards, you saw a sharpness about their defense, locked in, understanding what caliber players that they were playing. They capitalize on whatever the Wizards couldn't execute on the offensive end. And I was just so impressed with the activity, the intensity from the Kings the entire game, and starting obviously with Davion Mitchell at the top, but then Sabonis at the bottom, and then you had guys coming in, Chimezie Metu with a few good moments. Yeah, it was good from everyone.
Sabonis just plays so hard. I was talking to Jerry Reynolds yesterday on the phone.
Oh, Jerry Bear.
It's been too long since I talked to Jerry, and he's like, I'm a big fan of the podcast, Deucey.
Oh.
I miss Jerry. And he's told me he's never seen a big play that hard all the time.
Wow.
And Sabonis plays so hard. It's such a weird thing that like highlight all the time, but it's difficult when you're carrying that much burden offensively. You get that much attention. Guys are trying to, because of how physical you are, they're trying to bump you around. Hell, you saw Bradley Beal tonight kind of lower his shoulder and hit him. He hurt his hand at one point tonight. Like, he plays hard all the time. And I think it's why the Kings are taking even another step right now. He always plays hard, but the intensity he's playing with right now, I don't think we have seen. And that is infectious. When guys see him do that, You got to play hard.
Because you have to keep up. You have to keep up with the best player on the floor. And by keeping up with the best player on the floor, it's not, oh, I need to knock down every shot. That's because he's doing that, or I have to do. You have to keep up with his effort, with his physicality. And you see the entire rest of the squad do that. And I think they do that because they respect each other enough to go, oh, he's doing that for me. I got to do that for him. It just goes such a long way. And you're seeing it truly take another leap in this season, Deuce. I mean, we talk about their defense, and you look at their defensive rating and their numbers, and I think Zach Lowe said it a few weeks ago. He goes, there's something about their defensive rating and what they're doing on the floor. It just doesn't match up, right?
Yeah, and we looked at the first half versus second half numbers, what they do in the fourth quarter this season, where they're a top 10 defensive team. And now I'm seeing more and more signs throughout the game of just the effort. They're still going to get beat. There's still going to be times where they don't have the right personnel. But, I mean, you add someone like Kessler Edwards to the fold right now, and you're seeing what he could provide defensively. Tonight when he and Davion are out there, what a difference it is when they can knock down some shots. Because you have both guys out there. If you want to switch, fine. We'll switch that. We'll put Kessler on you. And you saw that a couple of times tonight with Beal where Davion was just in his shit.
My.
Bradley Beal was getting frustrated out there because of what Davion was doing defensively. Kessler did some nice things defensively. And, I mean, Keegan tonight had some nice defensive moments. He had that block. He had a couple of steals. Like, he was super active, had a nice contest on Beal on a jumper that was really good. Sabonis did some nice things. Fox has been more engaged defensively. I'm not acting as if this team is some, oh, my God, great defensive team. But for a team that has been near the bottom of the NBA for so long, and on the season it doesn't look great, I'm seeing them trend in the right direction near the end of the year.
Yeah.
And you couple that with what this offense is, which is by far the best offense in the NBA, and you saw that on display tonight, they're going to be trouble for someone in the playoffs. They're going to be a tough out.
Yeah, and I think that's the funnest part about this is that seeing them, again, a couple nights ago play against probably the best or one of the best teams in the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks, and seeing that same intensity and effort that's out there, but obviously different challenges because of the different level of play from these two squads that they played. But that's what I love, that they're capable of capitalizing on a worse team, on their flaws, on what they aren't doing right. And that's what you want to make sure you're doing. I think we always talk about taking care of business. We saw that not happen, early on in the year, or whenever that was, against the Houston Rockets when they were in Houston. And now you're seeing it more and more consistently, Deuce. This is what good teams do in the NBA. They are locked in. They are disciplined. Their standards are so high right now.
Yeah, you don't dick around. You go take care of business. And tonight, they went on the road, put up 132 points on the Wizards. They've won 7 in a row on the road, and their road record is now 22-13.
Oh, my God.
It's beyond fun to watch. I thought tonight, too, it was interesting. You referenced this at the start. They get down 27-17, and there's a couple of sequences where it was similar to that Minnesota game where they were running some pick and roll, and the low man had to recover late to the corner, and all of a sudden they hit 3 threes, and you're going, God, man, it's going to be one of those nights. But I thought the Kings handled it well after that.
Yeah.
Once it was 27-17. Kessler Edwards picked up his, third foul at the 5:20 mark. Then Terence Davis came in, and right away, it just felt like they were playing with such great pace offensively. And tonight was like the perfect Mike Brown game. What Mike Brown wants offensively is what you saw tonight: is quick decisions, constant movement, make the right decisions, pass up a good shot for a great shot. They were doing that a lot tonight.
Yeah, I think I saw TD maybe take one shot I didn't like. Like, he was feeling it.
Yeah, it was a heat check.
It was a heat check, whatever. And then I think there was a time in transition where he took off too soon instead of really going in and accepting the contact and trying to finish the bucket. Besides that, TD was on another level. And when you're not in the rotation playing, one, to be able to find your rhythm like that, staying ready. We already know what that's like. But you guys, how many times do we talk about like how hard it is to stay ready for NBA minutes and to play as many minutes as he did? He ended up playing 30 minutes, okay, after not even being in the rotation, finishing with 21 points and 7 rebounds. And I love the 7 rebounds because even that,
and 2 steals.
and 2 steals. Oh, and 2 steals. But the 7 rebounds, Deuce, it just should, like, that is that effort of crashing boards, making the decision to make sure that you are doing the right thing, putting a body on someone, going after the ball. And Terence Davis was doing so many things right tonight. He earn those minutes. These are the moments that I'm just always like, man, I wish he could be playing more. But you also understand they have depth. They have a lot of good guys to be playing out there.
Well, when he plays like this is what Mike Brown wants out of him. Like making the right decisions, playing with pace, attacking, not making mistakes defensively. I think that's probably what irks Brown the most when it comes to Terence Davis.
Correct.
Is if he falls asleep defensively. Tonight, he did really well. You mentioned the points. He did it efficiently too. 8 of 13 shooting, 5 of 7 from 3. And I thought he set the tone. All of a sudden, the Kings were down 27-17. They go on a 15-0 run. And then they lead at the end of the first, 37-33. Mind you, it was 27-17 with like 4-ish to play in the first quarter. So they went on an all-out blitz because of that shooting. And the shooting was tremendous. But to me, it was just because of how well the Kings were moving, too. I mean, how many times Sabonis goes out there, gets a rebound, pushes, drops it right behind him. Just this nice bounce pass. And then these guys are just walking in the threes.
You know what's interesting? You always talk about leading a pass for someone that's cutting to a basket and you're moving it forward. He also leads people with the pass with his handoffs, with where he's bouncing the ball, because he's leading you to come into it. The timing, it's just beautiful. It's precise. But on top of all that, you talk about people relocating, moving without the basketball, but why things were so open and available, because there's so many threats on this squad, in the way that guys were attacking the paint, the way that defenses have to collapse and say, all right, we gotta allow them to shoot the basketball. That's what was I mean, Washington obviously not a great team, but that's also what was happening tonight, and the Kings were capitalizing on it by making their shots.
Washington definitely looked like 1-2-3 Cancun. They
1, 2, 3 Cancun.
You have an eyelash that's
That was like you pinched my face a little.
I grabbed the eyelash. Did it pinch your face?
Kinda.
Pinch your cheek?
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Thanks.
Do you think I kind of did that on purpose?
Yeah, like I felt like
I might have.
like, oops.
Yeah, let me get in there. I gotta grab the lash.
I don't even know if there was really an eyelash.
I think sometimes it's my inner Sabonis coming out. I go hard all the time. I'm just a very aggressive person.
He doesn't like intentionally try to hurt somebody.
You're right.
Though.
You're right.
So no.
I was like Bradley Beal lowering the shoulder into Sabonis's face.
Correct.
Ooh. That's where I couldn't be. Like, if I was on the NBA bench right there, if I was Sabonis, I may be getting up and pushing Beal. That pissed me off. And I like Bradley Beal, but that was a dirty-ass play. He got mad because he ran into Sabonis, who is a brick wall. I get it. Yeah. Sabonis came out on a trap, runs into him. Then it's a turnover. Next play, he just lowers his shoulder right into Sabonis' face.
Yeah, well, yeah, Sabonis's face definitely goes into Beal's shoulder, and like his momentum, his speed was going forward, and so it just was like the perfect hit to just blow him to the ground. And yeah, it wasn't great, but not the end of the world.
I do want to go back to Terence Davis for a second, because you're talking about staying ready, and I do feel like, although we've mentioned it before throughout the year, because it seems like the Kings have many guys who just like they get their opportunities, like, oh well, here they are.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how challenging that is. And it's one thing you're winning and stuff, but like TD's going, dude, I've dropped 30 in a game on TNT before this year in a win. Yeah. I've had big moments, and then you're just chilling on the bench for a long time. That shit, your pride, like it's going to bug you a little bit.
Mentally and physically.
And you have to find a way to balance it out, because you got to be a team guy. Mm-hmm. You got to stay ready. And you always hear stay ready. He deserves a lot of credit. I'm sure he hasn't been happy all the time about it. You shouldn't be happy when you're not playing. You should want to be out there and be competitive. But being a good teammate, and when your number is called to come out and play the way he did, that was big time stuff. And I just, there's so much credit to the coaching staff.
Yes.
And the players.
Yes.
Because if there's not a buy-in or trust between those, like the coaches and players, then you're not going to have that type of buy-in. You're going to have guys pouting on the bench.
That's exactly. I mean, Deuce, you throw around the word culture even, and I think when you're in the right workplace, when you're a part of the right team, and everyone understands and truly believes, like, hey, our ultimate goal is to win. If you win, I win. And there's always going to still be egos and people that go, well, I still think I'm better than so-and-so, so I'm going to keep working my butt off to get here instead of there. I love that. That's what you want from a team. That's what you want from individuals, is to feel healthy competition, to grow and get better and better. And I think that is what they also have in place with this squad, where it's not an ego necessarily, but it's that healthy competition that I am talking about. And when Terence Davis has another, 30-point game or whatever, what did he end up with tonight? 21 point, another very productive offensive game. Like, you do believe that you should be in the rotation, and somehow you have to get to a spot mentally to be like, but I'm okay with just being a part of this winning squad and knowing that I am a huge part of why we are winning.
He was big tonight for them. I mean, I think he is the reason they got back in the game so fast with the energy he came in and provided. Sabonis, Morgan, 30 points for him, 10 assists, 9 rebounds. He also only had 1 turnover. He had that awesome block, 10 of 12 shooting, and he was 10 of 12 from the free throw line tonight.
Oh,
it was so fun to see him play. Let's hear from Mike Brown talking about what he saw from Domantas Sabonis. I had it up, Morgan, and I was ready to go, just so you know. And then I lost it.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, that's a turnover. Sabonis had 1 turnover. I just had a turnover, just to be clear.
It's okay. If you want to look for it, as I just say this too. With Domantas Sabonis, watching him tonight, I mean, from the start, you guys, when the Kings had 11 points, he had 7 of the first 11, just being aggressive, physical right away. It set the tone.
Yeah, here's what Mike Brown had to say about Sabonis' play after the win.
Domas, I mean, what do you say about Domas? He's getting hit in the head, getting knocked on the ground, and he just keeps coming and coming and coming. And he is 39 and 9, extremely efficient going on 12 shots. How do you get 30 on 12 shots? I mean, that's ridiculous. And again, I got to keep constantly reminding guys that he is an All-NBA guy, and tonight in a win, when you get 39 and 9 on 12 shots, that's just a reminder that he's that guy.
He has been that guy this year.
He's that guy. He is. I mean, when you can throw him the ball anywhere on the floor and something is going to happen, doesn't matter if it's late in the shot clock, you throw it up here and he has one arm with it and he's like, you know what? I'm just going to use my strength and go to the hole. Or it's like, you know what? Does anyone want to move? Voomp. I'm going to find them, get an assist. Incredible play from Sabonis, especially when De'Aaron Fox wasn't obviously producing as much on the offensive end, but he also wasn't playing as much either.
I think that's what excited me most about tonight is Fox only played 26 minutes.
Happy about that.
12 points, 6 of 12 shooting, 7 assists, steal, and he had that nasty jam tonight.
Here's Fox off the dribble with a hammer statement coming right back up the floor.
That was a very short highlight. How about TD, too? He got it going. G-Man, how'd that sound?
Chimezi drives it, seams open, too strong, no good. Offensive rebound. Chimezi out on the wing. Terence Davis from downtown. He can be streaky as can be, and he's got one going tonight. And it's been a long time since he's been hot from distance. He's made 4 3-point shots. The Kings have an 8-point lead.
Oh, my
Yeah, TD
God.
was great. In the chat, by the way, Soulshine Band says, I have no idea what that was. Thought this was a Kings post game. It is. You must be a newbie. Welcome in, Deuce and Mo Night Chat.
Hi.
Where we talk to fans, we talk to the chat, we talk about what just went down in the game. Yeah, so Nick is a regular caller who checks in every game. And, today he's feeling himself a little bit. So he just dropped in to show us off his Special Olympics medal, which was cool with us, but he kind of just took over in the middle of a show.
That's what you saw.
With Sabonis, that physicality and how hard I think I'd be so annoyed playing against Domantas Sabonis.
You think you would be? I mean, get the shit out of here. Come on.
I mean,
you would not last. No, you know how difficult that is when you're going up against someone that active. Deuce, you saw how Davion was defensively up on Bradley Beal.
Dude.
That's annoying enough, being someone that's taking that. But then when you have Domas Sabonis, who is doing that on both ends of the floor, as an NBA player, you're like, I have to keep up with that. And again, I'm only making this comparison to compare to someone who is always active. Steph Curry. You know how annoying it is to defend him because he's always running around. It doesn't matter. You cannot ball watch for a second because you have to make sure you know where Steph Curry is at all times on the floor. And I think with Domas, it's not so much because of him moving around the floor like Steph Curry. It's more because he's so active when has the ball. He's thinking of a quick first move, what he's going to do, whether it's with a pass or with a dribble.
And the Kings just have guys who are playing their best basketball of the season post All-Star break. Like, obviously, Sabonis did enough to be an All-Star, so he's legit. But his numbers post-break, just outrageous. 20 points a game, Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing it on 62% shooting. He doesn't take a lot of threes, but 40% clip. Just under 80% at the line. 13.5 rebounds. 8.3 assists after the break. And are we serious right now? In 13 games, the Kings are 11-2, and he's giving you 20, 13.5, and 8.3. This guy is a center in the NBA. He's getting a rebound. He's pushing. He's constantly moving. He's getting banged around. He's finishing inside. He's dropping dimes to his teammates. He's playing good defense. This guy's playing like one of the better players in the league. And you couple that with what De'Aaron Fox is doing post All-Star break, averaging 27 points a game post All-Star break on 44% shooting, 35% from three, and 6 assists per game. 2 steals for De'Aaron Fox post All-Star break.
Yeah, that's those are some special numbers you're seeing there. And this isn't like, special numbers for the Sacramento Kings because they haven't seen these numbers before. This is around the league. What they're doing right now, you guys, is pretty special. And it's elite. It's efficient. It's consistent. All of the above. That is not only what these two guys are doing, that's what the rest of the team is doing with them. The way that this squad is rallying around each other to make in-game adjustments, whether it's, defensive miscommunications or just offensively someone isn't moving around or doing the right thing, they keep making these adjustments in game and then in between games. And I think Keegan Murray is one of those guys that I look at in between games. I love seeing him tonight. Just, you can tell he's told certain things and he's doing those certain things, like putting the ball on the floor and being aggressive, or when he was missing a shot, he's getting a steal on the other end and then laying it up back on the other end. So he's recovering from his mistakes as well.
Yeah, first play of the game, I like that Keegan. They found Keegan, had a nice floater inside. You're right. He had a couple of air balls and both ended up resulting in Keegan stealing the ball and making a play, making up for it. I thought he had a couple of nice attacks. Defensively, he did some nice things tonight. He rebounded pretty well, 5 rebounds, I think, tonight. He finished with 19 points in the game. I do want to get to this comment. Matthew says, Sabonis, big man, big pain tolerance, big athletic skills, big smarts, big leader, big Domas, big badass. That sums it up perfectly.
Big.
Tough, physical, gets after it, great teammate. Getting Sabonis was a franchise-altering move. And that's like big picture. We're saying big a lot here. Big picture, you think about the sequence of everything that has transpired. Getting Sabonis, getting Mike Brown, Herter. I was even telling Morgan, we were watching the game, I'm like, God, Monty McNair and Wes Wilcox, the fact that they got Kessler Edwards, who's 22 years old, and they got him for free pretty much. They got paid cash from Brooklyn to take a look at a guy that could help them.
Low risk.
At a position at low risk. They got Terence Davis for a second-round pick a couple of years ago. Yeah. Trey Lyles a part of this deal. The way they've built this team has been amazing.
This is what smart basketball-minded people do, right? They understand where talent is and don't just follow a narrative. They have the right people surrounding them, telling them what's needed, whether it's from a competitive standpoint or just what they're capable of doing on the floor, or even from what they're capable of doing as a coachable player, a player that still can develop under the right leadership. And putting the right leadership in place is number one with Mike Brown, that can teach these guys the right way to play basketball, but finding the right guys that, one, are willing and wanting to buy in and want to learn and be molded into the best player that they can be. That's the type of guy that they have found multiple times.
It's the perfect recipe because I think sometimes you have those conversations like, hey, what's the reason for the Kings' success this year? Like, who gets the most love? And you're like, where do you start? Because it's truly a total team.
Yep.
With the roster. You have a great coaching staff. Your execs are doing great work. Everything's kind of like your training staff must be doing something right because all these guys have been relatively healthy this year.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're not getting nicked up on weird injuries. It's just you need all those things to be a successful team, and it's just wild that it seems like all this stuff is happening all at once. It's taken time. The Sabonis thing happened last year. It took Monty a couple of years, but man, it's impressive.
But the reason why it does feel like all at once, because it's not like we saw improvement last year on the floor necessarily, right? Like, it's not like you saw, oh my gosh, improvement. This team is going to be a better team in the next year.
No, you saw some flash with Fox and Sabonis of, they
you were
could
gonna
work
mention that.
together.
Yes.
But you're right. Like, they didn't play a lot at the end. They
That's
both
what I'm saying.
kind of got hurt, and you're like, okay, we'll see.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. And so then for the leap to be taken this season, that's why nobody except Mark J. Spears obviously thought this team was going to be playoff bound.
I think some people thought playoffs. Some fans did, but yeah,
that's
from a
unfair
national
for me to say
perspective,
that.
for
There
sure.
There we go. From a national perspective. But yeah, and that's why, like, you usually need the patience and development to go into, okay, what can they build off this season? I mean, next year you better be going for a championship.
I love this from Carlos in the chat. What? He says, Sabonis is great, nice, efficient, humble, tough, smooth. What? If you're not down with that, we have 3 words for you. Light the beam. Great comment. Appreciate all you guys hanging out with us too on a Saturday night. If you have not yet, hit that thumbs up button. All that does, hitting the like button, is just help the page continue to grow as we approach 11,000 subs. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed as well. That would be really nice.
Yeah.
I see we're getting new faces in here.
Oh, yeah, we are.
G's Burner is a new guy in here that, of course, does not actually listen to some of the
okay.
stuff. It's okay. We just have to educate him because he was like, you didn't really compare Sabonis to Curry. It's like, he's talking about the movement. Obviously, they're much different players. And then he also says that, well, they haven't made the playoffs yet. Nothing's guaranteed.
Oh. It's okay.
Whew. Okay.
But no, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
That's what's been fun too, with more and more, as our channel does keep growing, we do have more and more people. Some people don't understand us or the context of some things too. Just know we are fun basketball junkies, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to hear from Domantas Sabonis?
Hell yeah.
He was talking to G-Man after the game. We have not heard this yet, so let's listen to Domas with the G-Man, Gary Gerald.
Domas has slipped on the headset, so big number 10.
Sir.
How you feeling tonight?
Good. Happy we got the win,
Well, a day after St. Patty's Day, we'll take it. My golly.
Yep.
They celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Lithuania?
Yeah, I think, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I saw you shaking the right hand repeatedly tonight. What's going on there? You get nailed a couple of times?
Yeah, just getting hit a couple of times, it's part of the game,
Well, I'm glad you can shrug it off, but I know you get beat up, and I don't know how you do it. You play so hard, and I applaud you for doing that. Yeah. What was the key to getting this one tonight other than making a ton of threes?
Just locking in defensively. They got a lot of offensive weapons out there, and we just had to do our job as the team collectively.
We saw the Wizards knock down their first 5 3-point shots. They had a 10-point lead in the first quarter. Any doubts creeping in at that time?
No, we just knew we had to. We missed shots. They made a lot of shots, and we just had to get to our game.
How good was it to see Terence Davis, who had been stone cold in his last games, only limited minutes, but really lighten it up there, particularly in the first half?
It's amazing. It just shows that all these guys in the team stay ready. They stay ready, and once their number is called, they come out and they give everything they have.
How good was it to have a day of rest yesterday?
Amazing. We need another one tomorrow.
Got to fly to Salt Lake City, so get ready for another back-to-back.
Yeah.
Domas, congratulations. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right. Domantas Sabonis and the Kings. Jason enjoying a 14-point.
Yeah, so there's Domantas Sabonis on the radio side with the G-Man, Gary Gerald.
He's I love how he just acts like this is how it's supposed to be. And I know we want that. From our guys, but it's cool because they actually do back it up. It's not fluky what they're doing. It's not like, oh man, they barely pulled out a win against the Wizards. They played hard. They played good basketball to get this win against a losing team.
We haven't spent much time talking about Davion Mitchell yet tonight. And
he deserves all the love.
Man, Davion Mitchell was getting into Bradley Beal. He was making him work. He was making an all-star level player get frustrated.
And for him to also knock down 2 threes within this, because we know what he can do defensively, but I love that he was like, hey, also these 2 that I'm going to be spot up shooting, I'm going to knock these down. But truly, defensively, what he's been capable of doing, since he came into the league, and then tonight making Bradley Beal feel very uncomfortable in navigating screens, just putting that pressure on, allowing his teammates to be like, cool, you got this, bro.
He just has such a level of concentration with his on-ball defense.
Yeah.
He is strong, right? I mean, we're talking about guys that are, Bradley Beal had a move on Kessler Edwards tonight that just blew by him. And it was tough. Kessler did an all right job, but Bradley Beal had to step on him. Davion gets into you. He bumps you. He's physical. He doesn't foul you. He is just going to frustrate you. And he's not going to worry about a screen. He's going to go through a screen. He's going to blow it up. He's going to navigate around it, like you said. It's a thrill to watch. And when you're making a guy work that hard, it leads to frustration. It leads to bad shots. It tires these guys out.
Hell,
they got to work that hard just to get a look, just to move.
And sometimes you just want to give it up. You go, I don't even want to deal with this right now, right? And I think there was times like he was even switched on to Kyle Kuzma, who obviously has the size advantage, and he's just capable of frustrating, deflating, or tiring out a guy like Kyle Kuzma, who, again, could shoot over him with his length, but is making him work harder to even get that shot off.
Well, hey, Mike Brown, what do you like about Davion tonight?
Did Davion get the chain tonight?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
He only scored 6 points, but he was plus 32. What stood out to you about the way you mentioned his defense, obviously, but what stood out?
Yeah, his ball pressure was fantastic. Again, he's just gifted with that, and he's got a tenacity about him that is just off the charts. He's relentless, and you have to be relentless in order to be able to defend the way he does. And then he just let the ball find him. He didn't force anything. He just played the game the right way offensively, and when the ball got swung to him or hit his hands, he just stepped in and shot the open shot. And he was a lot of fun to watch tonight. A lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, he really was. He ends up playing off the bench for Sacramento, just under 19 minutes, had 6 points, 3 assists. He had a steal on there, 2 of 2 from downtown, 2 of 3 overall. But I even thought just pushing the pace, getting the Kings into their stuff fast when he did have the ball, bringing it up the court, and then defensively he does what he does. And it's such a difference when he's playing that way, especially when you start thinking about playoff time. Like, if you can roll out lineups that have him out there and Kessler Edwards at times, just from a switchability standpoint, guys that could defend multiple spots. Even though Davion is shorter, he can get into guys in multiple positions. Yeah, he'll just – and, I think Keegan's shown some nice moments defensively. I'm getting pumped, man. I'm just getting really excited about this team. It's a good team. It's a really good team, and they're playing their best basketball right now.
Someone else we haven't even talked about that's been playing well, Malik Monk. And I think tonight you look at the way that he was knocking down threes. When he feels that confident and he's knocking down those shots, it just feels like there's no one that can stop him, right? His energy, his spirit that he brings on the floor, and the smoothness in his shot when he is just feeling in rhythm.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I think the whole team is like, we love it. Thank you.
Yeah, you had 3 guys on the team tonight knock down 5 threes. Monk had 5 of 7. Terence Davis was also 5 of 7. And then Keegan Murray was 5 of 10. So they hit 15 of the Kings' 22 3-pointers. By the way, the Kings made franchise history, the most 3-pointers made in a regular season this season
Oh,
by the Sacramento Kings.